So we'll go to body posture, which reveals that he feels tranquility and relaxed here and in pace, okay? And then Anastasia mentioned he's frowning, so probably thinking about something, which is not in collision with what you just said, that he's relaxed. So probably there is something in his mind, or
Right, the opposite opinion that maybe he's in a green.
he might be in green.
Some beloved person, a relative.
Oh, I see. Might be the case.
Sonia,
And
Sonia,
then we listed some more things. For example, two people mentioned the church, and this book might be a Bible. So, any other
that
thoughts?
way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe the problem with the bridges. He said, okay, that was separated, and he's looking, and he's desiring to go
said
there.
that he might be retired,
Yeah.
or what other professions come to your mind?
We think with Beata that he has something to do with the gymnasium here.
Oh,
Maybe
teacher,
the head teacher,
yeah.
or maybe even the founder.
Founder.
Founder of the gymnasium, or he has got a
And do
book.
you think that he's still alive, or
I don't
just to
think so.
commemorate
No.
his life and
No,
some
he
people
was
passed away?
a century ago.
Oh, I see.
If he was a politician, he would be standing because the politicians always.
Okay.
But
We
he's
excluded
sitting, so
him
I
being
think
a
that he had
politician.
something to do with the maybe culture in this town. Something like that. Definitely not a politician. He's got a very nice face. For politician.
Okay. And Anastasia also noticed that although he's wearing a suit and a shirt, but in a
He's
more
no tie.
casual way, no tie,
yes,
so probably more relaxed.
Bożena suggests that it can be a writer or maybe a scientist.
A writer or a
Botanist.
scientist or botanist.
We are speaking about the reason why is here.
We may speak about the reason as
Yes,
well.
and we have the idea that why he is alone on the place
With the cross.
with the cross. Because,
The priest maybe here.
Yes, no, because he is alone here, but you showed that he is not alone in the world. There are a lot of people around you, and the God is with you here. Something like that.
Any other thoughts? Sophia? What comes to your mind when you
Yeah,
look
we
at him
thought
from
it
the
was a priest.
a priest?
Yeah, we thought.
Might be a
Yeah,
priest
or a writer.
or a writer.
Well, are you going to tell us the truth?
He was a person who tried to make life in Sremski Karlovci much better.
So he really deserved having this statue
for
here.
all the people of this area, yes. Because his face, he looks like that, you know. Definitely not a politician.
So he really looks like a nice person,
Nice
somebody
person,
who
yes.
deserves to have the statue and people coming here and talking about him and his life. Brilliant brainstorming, I would say. And as you could see with your students, you could choose one of the statues in your town and then, for example, practice modal verbs. He might be, or might have been, or could, or we may notice this and that. And then we had some listing of vocabulary and casual clothing or facial expressions or whatever. Actually, most of you noticed the book. It's not a Bible, I guess. He was a writer. His name was Duško Trifunović.
Duško.
Duško, like your husband. Yes. And for
Hello
most
to
of his
Duško.
life, he lived in Sarajevo, and he was loved
This was
and
poet.
adored by children. I met him in the 90s, so when he was the guest honor at one of the Children's Poetry Festival in Vrbas, and he said that one of the nicest compliments that he had ever been given was by a little boy asking him whether he would like to be his pet. He was a bit plump and probably looked like a giant panda or something, a teddy bear. Besides writing poetry, he was well known and distinguished for being a lyrics writer, and he composed for some of the really great ex-Yugoslav bands such as Bijelo Dugme. Some of the most popular rock songs were written by him. So people loved him and appreciated what he did. Unfortunately, when the war started, he had to leave Sarajevo and was devastated after that. He came to Novi Sad homeless. he lost everything, and slowly his life started just being more and more quiet. He felt both psychologically and physically very, very difficult. Exhausted, yes.
In fact,
And
our
he was too proud to accept any kind of financial support from anyone. Thankfully, some of his colleagues was in Mossad. They gave him shelter, and it was just a very tough period for lots of people from this region. And unfortunately, he was one of those who had, and he shared the destiny of many. I'm not sure about that. No.
Well, that's something you could ask, couldn't you, this afternoon when you're looking around, enjoying the cafes of Sremski Karlovci. You could ask about the statue.
So we had some brainstorming, some guessing activities. Then the next thing we could do with students is to Google about the person, find out more. Then we could think of some questions, and imagine we had the opportunity to ask him about his life, and then we could also role play, and somebody could take a role of him, providing we had found out plenty of information about his life, and then do a kind of dialogue with him. Or any other ideas what we could do with some famous people from your own towns? You can imagine the statues that there are, and what would you do with the students?
I would ask, for example, if it were some kind of a statement of my city, like what kind of changes does he expect from us to do now to implement into the city council to make life better. So that's for sure. And maybe what does he hate about the modern period of life, and what kind of thing fascinates him at the moment? Probably to old like teen students, it would be interesting because they can think of things which are interesting for them well, and probably try to put themselves into the past and into the future.
Yeah.
It would be interesting.
Or maybe choose a person, a famous person who would deserve to have a statue and to be remembered.
So when you walk down to the restaurant, we're going for lunch now. Could you walk down with somebody who you haven't really talked to much yet, or somebody whose name you might not remember? And as you go down, just talk a little bit about the methodology of what we've done in the last hour, and talk as well about when you go back to your country, what you could imagine, or what statues there are in what kind of activity you could do with something that's near to your school, something that's uncomplicated, something that's safe, and something that you could teach English through, and as well what we said yesterday, to help students become more aware of their own culture, to help them to be able to communicate that to people from other cultures. Okay?